afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever time zone you happen to be in. I hope that you are all doing well. I wanted this video to be about food, and my message to you is if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. But if you do fail, use it as a learning opportunity. Okay, so you want to lose weight. How do you do that? It sounds really complicated, doesn't it? Like, how many calories am I supposed to cut back? How much food should I eat? What kind of exercise should I be doing? Etc., etc., etc. My hair is like loco crazy. It actually isn't that hard. It's really rather simple. We just sort of overcomplicate it because there are hundreds of diets out there and pills and fast methods. The thing is, it didn't take you a month to gain however much weight you're at, unless it's like 5 to 6 pounds. It took you a long time to gain that weight. It's going to take you time to lose that weight. I know your goal is to lose 4% in 4 weeks, so here is my breakdown on how to do that. First of all, you're going to want to go into the info and files at the top of your app, and you're going to click on that. And in there is the Lift 4 program material. Go ahead and open that. That is a guide. You don't have to follow it per se, but it is a guide. It has your calories, how much you weigh, breaks it down by how many calories you should eat, and then it breaks it down by how much food you should be consuming. And they have these amazing portion control containers. You don't have to use these. It is a general, this is honestly, it's a good visualization on how to just figure out how to eat, like how much you should be eating. Purple is protein, red inside there is, purple is not protein, it's fruit. Red is protein, green is vegetables, yellow is carbohydrates, and then there's blue for fats and a couple of orange ones for like nut butters and things like that. Rule of thumb though, the palm of your hand is the size of protein that you should be having. Your fist is about the size of your carbohydrates, and then your thumb is the size of a tablespoon, meaning like your nut butters and things like that. In general, you should be eating or focusing on eating 80% of the time clean, 20% of the time allowing yourself to have a small treat so you don't feel like you're going to lose your mind because you're changing so much in your way of eating. I am a huge advocate for balanced, healthy foods. You should contain some protein, some carbohydrates, and a little bit of fat in all of your meals. Now, what are exactly our carbohydrates? Again, or proteins. Those are in the list, in the materials, and Lift 4 materials. There's going to be a list of foods that you should focus on eating. And it has great options. There's loads of recipes also in the info and files. We share our recipes with each other on the app. And if you ever find yourself struggling, please reach out on just knowing how to make foods, I suppose. Let's see, the other thing, when I said if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, you should map out your entire week of how much you should be eating, what you should be eating. So Monday you have your breakfast, lunch, snacktional, and dinner. And same on for the rest of the week. And finding what works for you. There are days where, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I like to have Kodiak cakes for breakfast. Tuesdays, Thursdays, I'll have some eggs with a piece of toast. Kodiak cakes are great because they have protein and carbohydrates all in them. And then for lunch, I'll have, I tend to like to do some form of meat with a lot of vegetables and a little bit of carbohydrate. And then for dinner, I really try to focus on my vegetables. And vegetables and fruit, those are carbohydrates, so they're really great for you. So definitely make sure you're eating them. They will give you energy to sustain whatever workouts that you're choosing to do. Let's move on into that. Do you have to work out in order to lose weight? Actually, you don't. But working out makes you feel amazing. It gives you loads of energy. It increases your endorphins so that you feel really good about yourself. and we want you to feel good. So there are loads of different types of workouts you can do. You can do running, you could go to classes, you could lift weights, you could do any of the online programs through beachbody.com if you wanted to do that, and I can share more information with you guys about that if you're interested in that as well. I really want to keep this really short. We're already at 5 minutes. So the last thing I think I would want to share with you guys about food is you can also break it down by, but I want you to also realize that every person is different. Each individual is unique and different. So please don't come on here and see that one person is, listing off all this food and all this activity. Not everybody is the same. We can't all do that same activity or eat all that food. Some of us are going to eat way less food with less activity. Some of us are going to need more sweet breaks, and then also some of us are going to need to completely avoid some of those things too. So please be mindful that you are not here to compare yourself. You're here to find out what works for you. My number one rule is track everything you eat and drink at least a gallon of water per day. Those two things alone will make a huge difference in your success. If you track all your food, you're being accountable to what you're putting in your mouth. And then you can also see whether it's effective or not effective. So if what I ate yesterday, it'll show up 2 to 3 days later. I can see, maybe that wasn't a good choice, or maybe that worked really well for me. And so then I can repeat that pattern. The other thing with drinking a gallon of water is that 95% of us are dehydrated and we're not drinking enough water. And if you find yourself very hungry, you should try starting with a glass of water in order to kind of satiate those hunger cues. And if you still find yourself hungry, then go into vegetables first. Vegetables are, I feel like they're free food. You can eat them. That's all I got for you guys today. There will be more throughout the week. God bless you. Have a great Monday.